This tool that I would like to introduce to you now is called 0 to 100. And it's all about pitching the lesson at the level of the player. It's really important to take in the needs of your player. So if I was to work with Lawrence, his right hand, his dominant hand, you know, we could probably say if 100 is the best you've ever played, on any given day we might be at 75 or 80. But we're going to get him to use his non-dominant hand. So you've had a few shots with your left hand, we've played a few shots, we've practiced it. Where would you say you're at in regard to the 0 to 100 scale? Make a bit of a rough guess and tell me why you think.
What, with my left hand?
Yes, with your left hand.
20?
20, yeah, I would agree. Anywhere between 20, 25. Reason I think behind that possibly is Lawrence has played squash before, so he's got a bit of an understanding of ball striking and movement. And yes, I know I'm asking him to use his non-dominant hand. But it's all about maybe a new student, a complete novice, someone you've never worked with, and thinking about that 0 to 100 scale. So if Lawrence has come from a background, I would like to ask him a few questions. It's his first lesson with me, for example, and I might quiz him and just try to get some knowledge. So in my mind, I'm thinking about that number 20. I haven't asked him yet, for example, but I'm thinking, right, I would quiz him. I'd say, so Lawrence, have you played any other sports in your life? What have you? What other sports have you played?
I play a little bit of basketball, but not really anything else.
Okay, so for example, have you never really used another racket to a huge amount, like played other racket sports consistently?
No.
Okay, so for me that's an interesting question. If Lawrence was to come to me and say, okay, basketball, so no, okay, he's going to be quite athletic. I can observe he's quite athletic, but he's not necessarily struck the ball with a racket. We're making an imaginary scenario here. I know he has. So I would go, okay, he's athletic, but maybe he's not hit that many balls. So on my 0 to 100 scale, I'm already thinking, right, low end. I'm thinking maybe 10, 15 in a way. So I now need to think about what I can do to get him to just understand how to hit and understand, right, how quickly can we get into a rally situation whereby I'm feeding him and he's getting some sort of competence. So some of the tools I might use straight away in this example, I might get Lawrence to bounce a ball on his racket. So Lawrence, if you want to hold your grip and just however you feel like it in your left hand, and can you just bounce a few balls on your string? See if you can get up to 10 in a row. Okay, give it a go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, thank you, great. So already there, he did it, he achieved what it was. But what's really interesting is, as a coach, I was noticing things already. I was noticing maybe a lack of confidence and unsurety. You were also having to think and concentrate a lot on that, weren't you? It wasn't necessarily natural. Yeah. Not yet, yeah, and that's fine. So all of these little tools, I would be thinking, okay, I've seen he can do something. He's got some hand-eye coordination. He's got some spacing. I'm still thinking he's on the low end of that 0 to 100 scale. What I might ask you to do next, Lawrence, is see if you can bounce the ball. So you would turn your knuckles to the ceiling on your left hand, and I'll give you a quick little demo. If you can start to bounce a few, that might be my next little clue, as this is a slightly tougher thing to do. Let's see how you're looking with just bouncing that ball. That's it, great, and this is giving me information and feedback straight away. Keep going. Nice, that's good. Okay, so great, I can see already he's picking it up. So I'm going, okay, first couple of miss, but then even in that short term, I can go, right, I'm creating a picture. Last little tool I might use in regard to this would be to ask to get Lawrence to have a little mini rally on the wall. So you're going to use that wall for now. Actually, you're not going to use this wall because then you can be front on. And you're going to have, I know it's your left hand, you're going to have a little mini rally up and on that side wall and see how you can keep that ball along that line. I'm going to stand behind you here. So if you come back a little bit this way towards me, that's it. And see if you can have a little rally to yourself. That's it. Nice, good. So I can notice that he's got some sort of control. Well done. I'm already observing he's making some progress. Excellent, cool, thank you. We're gonna leave the ball, we don't need it for the next one. So what I'm observing there is like, right, great. That's given me a quick snapshot of going on about that 20 to 25 mark. He's got some sort of capability, he can make contact, and I'm starting to create this picture in my mind. My next progress would probably be to start to feed him and start to get him to hit some balls and try get his timing going. And ideally what I would like is at the end of that session, if I could take Lawrence from the 20, I've roughly made up my mind, he's on a 20. If I could get him up to say 30 by the end of the lesson, if 100 is the best he's going to play with his left hand. If I can get him to 30, that's success. And it's about understanding how we can just get him up to 30 by hitting a few balls, by not teaching him too much technique in a way, by getting him feeling this nice bit of timing. And my last point I want to make on this is then when I see Lawrence next week, what we do again. I wouldn't necessarily say we'd be on 30 and start again. We might need to go back to 25. So I might just spend a few minutes with him, just getting some sort of rhythm going again. But can I take that 25 and go to 40 in the next lesson? So it's an interesting scale we work on, the 0 to 100 scale. It's very good for a coach to be mindful of this, to understand his student, to understand where his student is at, and to put certain sessions in place that will help the student go up that scale, but then also being mindful of starting a lesson again in a week's time, whereby you might have to go back a few steps in order to build it up.